Good evening, cowboys, cowgirls, and outlaws. Welcome to the Slick Sixguns Network. I'm your host, Slick Sixguns, and I'm here to provide education, tips, and community for those interested in the Western shooting sports. If you're interested in stuff like that, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notifications bell so you don't miss anything. Now let's pack our wagons and see what's being discovered out west. Good morning and good afternoon, cowboys, cowgirls, and outlaws. Welcome to the Slick Sixguns Network Facebook page. I hope you are having a great day today, and I hope you are tuning in and ready to enjoy a nice, awesome episode again of Coffee with your favorite online cowboy. So grab your coffee mugs, let me know what you guys are drinking in the comments section, and let's get started because this is going to be a great episode. I'm really excited. And I really want to talk about what I got going on. Feel free to introduce yourself in the comments section, and let me go ahead and grab my coffee. I'll tell you what I got. All right. So, for those of you who are not new to this episode, I'm going to let you know that I got this nice little fine cup here from a viewer. So it is my favorite coffee mug and is going to be a staple on the show and has been for the last 3 episodes. So thank you very much to the viewer who bought that, Mr. Marshall Tidwell. Thank you. So it's got its nice little home brew in there. I hope you guys enjoy me drinking this coffee. So I'm going to. All right. So, before we get started, obviously I have to give my little spiel at the beginning because, that's just kind of the way some of these things go. So, let's just be honest, alright? So, if you guys like this content, if you guys like watching my videos, whether it be the ones on YouTube, or whether it be one of these videos, I highly recommend that you guys join my Patreon account and become an actual patron of this channel so that you, the viewer, can actually have more of an impact on the daily community of cowboy action as well as anything that has to do with the Western shooting sports. You can also contribute to this channel by joining my Buy Me a Coffee account. I will give you special mentions on episodes like this if you are the one that decides to do that. And also, if you are so inclined, you can also give me a one-time gift through PayPal, which I gave you my account in the description. All of this is in the description section on this video, so please feel free to join and subscribe and just enjoy the content that I create. I do it all for you guys, so let's just be honest there. I'm going to give a quick couple shout outs to some people who are joining in. Mr. Manuel Ruiz, thank you for joining. I am very excited to have you on this channel. Everybody, please let me know in the comments section where you are watching from. I love to also know where my viewers are from. We can't have this community without people like you, and it's always nice to know where everyone's at. You don't have to be too specific, but just tell me what state and what country you're from. I'm here in the great state of Texas. I love it here. It's a great state to be in. Been here for quite some time, and I will be here for some time. As George Strait once said, I ain't here for a long time, but I'm here for a good time. So, there you go. That's my nice little country musical trivia joke there for you, if you guys get it. Alright, so, before I get to the actual meat and potatoes of this video, I want to go ahead and let you guys know just some things that are currently going on with the YouTube channel, as well as those who are, as well as the stuff that I am bringing to you from this particular perspective when it comes to live streams. I just posted a recent video a couple weeks ago that had to do with Alamo Knife Works, and I also posted a video on some of their knives in my channel. Feel free to look at those. I've got some great content on knives specifically, from history to descriptions and to talking about the company. I suggest you take a look at them. It's pretty good. I got more content coming up on them. I haven't quite decided whether I am going to actually be doing an episode this week on a knife or whether I'm going to build something more on a parody. Let me know what you think in the comment section, what you would like to see maybe I'll actually be more inclined to choose one or the other. So, but nonetheless, I am having a video come out this week on my YouTube channel. So be sure to jump on over there and watch it when it comes out. It should be out this Thursday, hopefully. And if not, then it's going to be out maybe shortly after. But it will be out this week. I have a little bit of hard time with consistency. As some of you guys know, we all have day jobs. For me, my day job only allows me to essentially do this when I can. So, you know, it's awesome. Mr. Ray, thank you for joining. Glad to see that you're from Spencer, Iowa, I see. Thank you for joining us. Never been to Iowa. I hope you are enjoying it up there and, you know, keeping out of the cold weather. For all of those of you who don't know, we went through a bit of a cold snap recently here down in Texas, and we made it through just fine. Wasn't anything like last year from what I've heard. I was not here for it last year, so therefore those of you who are Texans can associate with that. By all means, feel free to let me know what you guys thought in the comment section as far as this little cold snap that we're going through. But we're doing pretty good. As far as things that are currently going on in the ranch and in my life, if you're, you know, if you guys are familiar with ranch life in general, I've got a pretty sizable herd right now of goats that I'm using to do a business venture. I will be probably doing a little bit more on that here soon, and it's kind of a nice little side business that I got to include with what I'm doing here. So I love working with the livestock. I love essentially being a cowboy, and you know, it's one of those things that we all kind of want to do, right? Just some of us are able to actually do it. And I am very blessed to have the opportunity to do that. So I'm looking forward to actually growing that business, getting into the ranching side of things, and just more or less an appreciation for the animals that we work with. So I'm really excited. You know, my background as a young kid really wasn't working with animals, so this will be something that's kind of interesting for me. You know, I kind of went full cowboy, if you will. I tried to get into the ranching lifestyle, get into the firearms of, you know, the historical firearms that we possessed at some point, and then eventually developed a business and became kind of an entrepreneur and a rancher myself. So that's where I stand, and it's going great so far. So we should be kicking off that business here pretty soon in the next couple of months, and I'll keep you guys posted. Let me know what you guys do for a living in the comment section. I would love to hear what you guys do. I know everybody runs the gamut, from soldiers to policemen to stay-at-home moms, stay-at-home dads, and you know, teachers, everything. You know, I love to hear what people do. It's an awesome thing to get a bunch of people from around the country or around the world who just share a common interest of cowboy culture as well as the Western shooting sports. All right, so now for the main event. So feel free at any point to ask me any questions in the comment section. I will try to answer them on screen to the best of my ability. If you ask them about the firearm and I don't necessarily know, I will go ahead and tell you I don't know. I'm not going to lie to you. This is, once again, I'm going to preface this by first saying, one, this firearm has been safety checked. I will also safety check it on screen for also all my range safety officers out there. So feel free to, you know, kind of step away from the keyboard for a little bit and take a step back and relax. All right. For those of you also, forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, this firearm has been safety checked, and I am not going to cover anything that has to do with the history of this firearm. You know, this is not my YouTube videos, so I am not going to provide research. I'm not going to provide numbers. I'm not going to provide any specifics. This is merely you and me enjoying coffee together, talking about the firearm in general when it comes to your questions on it, and me just sharing with you the features of it. And that's all I really want to do. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Can anyone let me know what I'm about to show you? Hopefully you see in the comment section here. And we're going 1, 2, and 3. Here we go. All right, so here we go. I have a Uberti 1860 iron frame. It is a Uberti, and it is clear. I will run the lever a couple of times for everybody to know that, and it is 100% clear. All right, so I love to tell people the story of how I came into this firearm, and I also love to tell people why I wanted this firearm, because you know, we all go out there and we want to buy these things and we want to participate, we want to join the Western shooting sports, but you know, we don't really talk a whole lot about the story of why we ended up buying them in the first place. I don't really talk about that in my videos, and I would like to share that with you, specifically with something like this. So before I talk about that, I'm just going to show you a nice up close and personal of what this thing looks like. You got a nice blued butt plate, recoil pad right here, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter to me. You also got your stock, which is just a straight grip, nothing special there. Nice to note here that I think is a little interesting is there is no lever lock in the back here. There is no way to lock the lever. I know that it comes in different variations from the factory, but this one didn't come with that. It has model 1860 written on the tang, which is interesting. To my knowledge, that is not historically accurate, but they do that, I'm sure, to tell people, hey, this is what you've got, you know, for those who may not be so historically inclined. For those of you who don't know, the model 1873 Winchester was the first in the toggle link action line to actually have a year designated. So when it came to being written out on the tang of the rifle, it was more of a marketing ploy here. So, but they didn't really come out with that until the 73s did, so that is not historically accurate. Please let me know in the comment section if you know something else. All right, and then you got a nice color case hardening frame here, and you got a color case hardened hammer, and you got a color case hardened lever, and then the trigger is blued. So I will say that I was not really going to expect a whole lot out of a Uberti 1860, and here's why. I have, and for those of you who don't know, you can look back at my previous videos, I have a new original Henry Repeating Arms Henry that, to be honest with you, is absolutely beautiful. You should go look at it. I talk a lot about it, why I bought it, and I talk about the just how beautiful it is. It is very well put together. It is an extremely beautiful piece of craftsmanship, and it's hard to beat, really. In my opinion, I think it was very well done and well put together. You know, people have their opinions of the Henrys from Henry Repeating Arms, and people have their opinions on the Henrys from Uberti. So that is my opinion. But I will say that I was a little concerned that this might not be as good quality. I will tell you that looking at this rifle, I have not been able to stop looking at it. I don't know what that says to you, but I will tell you that it is very beautiful in its own right, and definitely is not a rifle to be ashamed of. It is definitely a beautiful piece of craftsmanship all on its own, and I think, you know, I think people kind of hate on them sometimes, you know, just for the sheer fact of, well, it is not a Henry Repeating Arms Henry, and those are far more beautiful. Well, I had to see it for myself, so I did. And I wanted to get myself an iron frame, or an iron frame looking. You know, they're not made of iron, they're made of steel. It is color case hardened to make it look like it is an iron frame, which they originally had iron frame Henrys back when they were first made in the, you know, 1860s and up. So I wanted to get a specific iron frame for historical reasons, and the color case hardening on it is a very nice touch. It is very beautiful. It is in 45 Colt. You guys probably can't see that, it looks upside down. It's got a brass carrier that is just very nicely fit and finish. I will say that I think that is kind of impressive. I was expecting the fit and finish of these things to be a little bit more shoddy. I was expecting them to be not as well done. And I can say that honestly, in some ways, some of the fit and finish is far better than the Henry. In some areas, that's my opinion. Okay. It's got its follower right here, which is an all steel. There is no plastic in it, which I think is kind of interesting to note because the Henry actually does have a colored plastic end cap on it. When it's pushing the rounds in, you can see it, so that basically you're able to tell when the magazine is empty when you look down in the carrier, and you are able to see that. So, but this one doesn't have that coloring on the end of it, so I think that's also kind of appealing. The barrel is all one piece with the magazine tube, and then it's a 24-inch barrel to my knowledge. I haven't actually measured it, and it's got a blade front sight. It operates just like any other Henry would, with loading it from the muzzle area. So with the barrel sleeve and all that, it's just very well put together. You know, and I think also what I like about it is there's a couple things that I like about it. Mind you, this is my opinion. Share it in the comment section if you want. There's a couple things that I do really like about this actually over the Henry by Henry Repeating Arms. The first thing that I like about it is the sight. The sight on the Henry Repeating Arms original Henry and this one are the same. However, the sight on the Henry is a little bit more flimsy when you come to the ladder sight. This one definitely has a little bit more spring tension on it. I will say it doesn't feel as flimsy. When you touch it, it doesn't really wiggle. The ladder sight on the original Henry wiggles. Don't get me wrong, it is very accurate. I will say that the Henry Repeating Arms has an extremely accurate gun, from my opinion. I've shot it out to about 400 yards, and you know, for lack of a better word, I can hit the broadside of a barn. You know, it's not a precision shooter out to that distance for me. Maybe some of you guys out there have been able to you know, put holes in holes out to 400 yards with a pistol caliber rifle. I don't know, but my point is that it is an extremely accurate gun despite the sight being a little flimsy. I'll do that in a review, but I really like how this sight on this is just very positive and well attached. It's not flimsy at all. The sight actually sticks where it is. It doesn't drop or anything like that. I think it has a lot to do with the don't quote me on this, but I think a lot of it has to do with the polishing that Henry does. They do a lot of heavy polishing on their rifles, and it causes everything to be very slick and shiny, you know, and the edges are a little bit more buffed and not more rounded than they are square. So that's one thing I really like, is once again an extremely positive spring on the sight. Very nice there. The color case hardening in general, just very well put together. It flows with the rifle. I don't know how better to put it. It's just very, very pretty to look at. What else do I like about this rifle? The action is not as smooth as the Henry, but it's not rough either. And I'll show you. So that was very easy to do. When I bought this rifle, I will say that the previous owner said that the lever had a bit of a sticking point to it. My guess is he was kind of doing something like this, didn't really put much force into it, and then eventually got to the end and it was a little bit smoother. But, you know, just didn't really understand that you got to put a little bit more force when you're, you know, you got to run the lever like you mean it. So, it doesn't have a sticking point. it's very smooth for what it is. And you know, and the other thing they mentioned was that the trigger was a little bit harder on the pull. I have not measured the trigger, mind you. I don't know what the trigger pull is on it, so I'm not going to speculate, but I am going to say that the trigger is very crisp. Heavy. It's heavier, but it's very positive and very crisp when it breaks. Just very good. I love it. I'm gonna do it one more time as if I were actually taking a shot. It's very, very, it hits with some authority. I'll say that, you know? You know you're gonna set off a primer. I guess that's the best way I can equate it to. The other thing I like about this thing is the fact that the sights, the barrel is not extremely over polished, so it's less round and more square. I like that. That looks more to me to be historically accurate to the originals. The butt plane on it is not brass, which I think is kind of cool. It's kind of rounded up here, which I think is a little different. But I don't know if the brass, you know, I'm sure the butt plates come in different shapes and sizes. You know, they all do. Joke there. They all come in different shapes and sizes. I don't own all of them, but I'm sure, you know, there's plenty of viewers out there who have different ones, and they probably can say, yes, that is one that is very similar to mine. No, it is not similar to mine. I have not fired this gun. So just quick little disclosure there. This gun has not been fired by me. It is in .45 Colt. I have plenty of ammunition to do so. But why did I get it? Okay. Now let's talk about that a little bit. Okay, why did I get this gun? Well, one, I saw it. I think that's kind of, you know, part of the reason why we get these things in the first place. Is they just happen to be available. They happen to be there. You know, I saw it. That's why I wanted it. But then I also did some more diving into, you know, some of the history of the weapons. For those of you who have been watching my channel for a while, I get into the history of it. I got into the Western shooting sports for more of the historical reasons than I did the competitive side. I like to portray more historically accurate firearms. I do slick up some of my guns, but I don't slick up all of them. So, you know, I wanted to get something that was part of the Henry line. Is a type of firearm that falls in line with the progression of the toggle link actions, as the iron frames were very few and far between, but they were made nonetheless, and I wanted a copy of it since I can't afford an original. So that, in short, is why I got it. And I do like shooting Henrys. The Henry hop is a little bit of a pain, but, you know, it's the Henry from Henry Repeating Arms that I have. You have to do that with it. You have to do that with this. And I just like the toggle link actions. They're very nice. I also like the fact how the barrel is all one piece. It's kind of unique. You know, you don't see it every day. A lot of people run their 66s and their 73s, and you know, I'll sit there and bring my Henry, and there's a few people that do bring Henrys, but I don't see them that often. So, you know, this is something that I like to use in the progression of the development of the pistol caliber lever action rifle. So, very nice. Just very nice. That's why I bought it. Is so that I could go out there and essentially gloat to people, this is what I have. You know, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that do that too on this chat. And there's a lot of people that do that who are on my YouTube channel as well. You know, there's a little bit of personal pride in owning firearms, and you know, some of us just turn to collectors anyway. So it's a collector's piece as well, you know. I shoot it. I want to shoot it. I should say I want to shoot it because I haven't shot it yet. But I am going to shoot it, and I'm going to enjoy it. And, you know, at some point in my life, I was thinking, well, you know what? It's great if I just buy firearms and, you know, enjoy them for a little while, and then I can sell them because, God forbid, I can, you know, eventually try them all. But I did that for a little bit, and then I couldn't do it anymore because I got tired of, you know, I eventually missed the firearms I sold. I'm sure everybody gets into that. So, you know, and so I'm going to hold on to this. I love it. I'm glad I could find it when I did, for the price point that I did. The Henry Repeating Arms Henry was exorbitantly expensive. But nonetheless, you pay for the quality. The quality is really good in that firearm. Nothing has broken on it. I've had it for a number of years. I've shot it. And it's just a good rifle. So I'm happy with the amount of money I paid for it as much as it was. This is a Uberti, and for all intents and purposes, the Ubertis are cheaper. Given nowadays, this wasn't much cheaper than the Henry Repeating Arms, but then again, I bought the Henry Repeating Arms at a different time. When I bought the Henry Repeating Arms Henry, I bought it for roughly about $2,100. Right now, they're running probably $2,500 to $2,600 if you can find them. Maybe even more. Let me know how much they cost. This Uberti, and I know some people are going to hate on me in the comment section. They're going to turn around and say, you paid too much for that. I don't care. I don't. I pay for what I enjoy. You know, and if that means that I pay a little extra, then I pay a little extra. Plus, you know, you always got inflation. You always got stuff like that. So the prices, things are always going to go up with inflation. So, I paid, you know, full disclosure, I paid about $1,900 for this. You know, a couple years ago, you could get them for probably about $1,400 or less. Maybe closer to $1,000 even. But just with the way things firearms now and how people kind of have just been buying them up and hoarding them, as much as the manufacturers are trying to make them, yes, they're getting a little bit expensive, especially on a private sale. But, you know, all depends on what you can find in the store versus what you can find in a private sale. And I found this in a private sale, and because I couldn't find them in a store at the time, and I didn't want to order them, didn't want to wait on the manufacturer, so or the gun store to get it in, I just wanted to buy it, and so price felt good to me, so I went and bought it. So I'm sure everybody has been in that boat. I'm not going to judge at all how much you pay for your firearms. So it is just a really, really smooth gun to me. I love the caliber. 45 Colt is one of my favorite cartridges, even though it is not historically accurate in these pistol caliber lever action rifles. I do have one in 4440. Just letting you know. No, I have more than that. I'm more than one in 4440, but I do have them in 4440 nonetheless. But I like the 45 Colt cartridge, and you know, it's a big cartridge to me. It's, you know, something that you can enjoy, and I have a lot of. So naturally, I bought a gun that was chambered in 45 Colt. So, you know, I don't consider myself a purist. I would try to enjoy what I have, and I also try to be as historically accurate when I can and when I want to. So, you know, that's pretty good to me. So, let me know what you think in the comment section. I would love to hear what you think about the iron frame. I would love to hear what you think about the Uberti. I'd love to hear what you think about the Henry. I know there's some viewers out there who have both, and I know there's some people out there who only have one or the other. It doesn't matter to me. I think they're both really good guns, and maybe on my YouTube channel I will give you an honest review of what I think, and you know, how they function and all that stuff. But you know, It's a good gun. I enjoy it. I wouldn't get rid of it. And I just love to show you guys what I got because I think it's awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and show you one more time here. All the way from the muzzle. Nice big bore there. You got the blade front sight going down. Look at all those squared off edges right there. Going down to the ladder rear sight. You got the color case hardening iron frame look. You got the writing on it saying model 1860. And you know, the typical varnish that Ubertis have on them. And then going down to the butt plate. I just thought it was a little unique that this butt plate is more rounded. I wonder why that is. Doesn't really affect me. So, anyway, tell me your Henry story. Tell me, not your Henry repeating arm story. If you want to share that, please go ahead. I'd love to hear that story as well. But tell me your 1860 story, if you have one, why you got it, what you use it for. I'd love to hear it. And yes, I will be using this in the cowboy action circuit at my club. So I'm going to enjoy that very much so. So, how is everybody out there doing today? Let me know in the comment section. I'd love to just have a conversation. Once again, this is not strictly just to talk about guns, ammo, and the Western shooting sports. This is meant to build community, camaraderie, and, you know, just maybe help people out too. Never know. I'm going to go ahead and say hello to some people in the comment section, and I'm also going to answer some questions if there are. Alright, so Mr. Allen, thank you for watching. Ron, thank you for watching. Kevin, thank you for watching, tuning in. Derek, thank you for watching. Tracy and Andrew Brown, thank you for watching. Mr. Ray, thank you. And Manuel Ruiz, thank you for watching. I appreciate all that you guys are doing for this channel. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you for listening to me ramble for a little while and enjoying some coffee. Please let me know in the comment section what you guys are drinking. I'd love to hear about it. But yeah, this is just a very nice shoulder arm. Very well put together. Just very beautiful. Love the color case hardening. It's very rich. It is on my YouTube channel. Feel free to go ahead and look at my once over of the Henry in iron frame. And let me know what you think in the comment section. Alright, I appreciate everybody's time. Thank you so much. If you feel like you want to support the channel and you've tuned in for this long, maybe you would love to become a patron of the channel, or maybe you would love to buy me a coffee, and stay tuned for special mentions. Thank you so much for your time. I'll be seeing you in the next episode. Description section is a link to our Patreon account if you feel like supporting us. Don't forget to buy me a coffee as well. It's cowgirls and cowboys. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. And if you're looking forward to the next video, I'll see you on down the trail. Have a good one.